So today I thought it would be fun if I corrupt the minds of non-Irish people by teaching you guys how to insult people in the Irish language. Well, not the Irish language, it's English, because English has become our language in Ireland, but it's in an Irish slangy way.
Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
You look tired. You didn't even do anything today. You know when you're really mad at somebody and you want to call them a bad word, but not like the worst bad word in the world? Well, Ireland has a lot of those kinds of words. They're on the cusp of being bad, but also if you use them and somebody happens to know what they mean, if you're not from Ireland, you can just say, oh, you didn't understand the word, really, what it meant.
I'm so sorry.
I got your back. Before I get into the video, do be sure to subscribe, otherwise... Do you know what? I'm actually out of subscriber threats. If you could let me know in the comments some ideas you have for subscriber threats, I'd be very grateful. You should subscribe, it's good. Okay, the first word I'm going to teach you is the word state or state. Now, you might think that you know what the word state means. No. See, in Ireland, if somebody calls you a right state, or she was in a state, or the state I was in the other night, it means they were a mess. It can be given on a couple of different levels. As I said, you can call yourself a state, which is just self-deprecating.
I'm the worst.
You can say state of him. In other words, you don't find him terribly attractive. State can also refer to a state of being drunk. You might also hear us say it like state. This is how people from the countryside in Ireland say state, 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 state. It's the same word, but said differently. I put state at number 10 because it's not that extreme really, but you don't really want to be referred to as a state behind your back. That is insulting. The next one is the word wagon. Again, you might think, I know what a wagon is. Wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong in so many ways. A wagon well, it's quite a sexist term, I suppose, because you can only use it for women. And I'm going to say largely older women. It's sort of another word for... rhymes with which, but begins with a B.
Nobody told me about any tests.
There isn't really a direct correspondent of wagon that I've heard in another thing. You might also call like a toddler who's having a tantrum, who's female, a wagon. It's sort of like throwing a hissy fit as a female. It's a milder term than rhymes with which. You could use it jokingly with a friend, but you'd have to question whether they actually meant it a little bit, really. The next word is dope. Now, I have accidentally used dope in a couple of the comment sections, and people misconstrued what I was trying to say. In America, and I think in a lot of parts of the world, dope refers to something wonderful happening. It was a dope situation. That thing was dope. I am dope and down with the kids.
Cringeworthy.
100%.
In Ireland, the word dope refers to a silly, stupid person. It's a pretty light word, but somebody could really mean it. Oh, how was your date, Diane? He was a bit of a dope, really, to be honest with you. Oh, that bad? Yes, it was. Calling someone a dope infers the person is probably pretty harmless, but not terribly intelligent. Dope is often used between friends, particularly in North Dublin, to refer to somebody in your group who has done something mildly stupid in a scenario. Telling your friend Anto not to be a dope when he tries to jump out of a moving Lewis. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, there's a dwarf called Dopey, and I assume this is where we construed the word dope to mean dope, as we mean it in Ireland. The next one is the word bollocks. There are a number of ways to use the word bollocks, but I'm going to refer particularly to the two extreme ways of using the word bollocks. Now, you might understand a bollocks to be a male testicle. You are not wrong. However, here it can be used in a lighter way, to be referred to as acting a bit of a bollocks. You were doing something a bit stupid, a bit annoying, but harmless enough. However, to be referred to as a right bollocks is something that you don't want to be called.
No, thank you.
A right bollocks is somebody that is very much not liked in your particular group. You will often hear people in Ireland referring to the politicians as right bollockses. I assume the origin is to do with the male testicle, and in that sense, it has not departed much from its origins. Don't act the bollocks. Thumbs up my video. The next word on this list is tool. Again, a word you think you might know the meaning of. A tool is something you use to hammer or drill or screw. No, you know nothing. A tool is a bit of an idiot. It also implies the person is not aware that they're an idiot. You will often hear teachers referred to as tools. For example, Saoirse said Mr. O'Flynn is a bit of a tool. Mr. O'Flynn in that scenario is unaware that he is a bit of an idiot. The tool themselves can be harmless enough, but nonetheless a bit of a thorn in your side.
Get it out! Get it out!
The next Irish word we're going to look at is lickars, and honestly I hadn't thought about what this actually came from until I made this list, and now, ugh. A lickars is somebody who sucks up to somebody else. Like a teacher's pet, it infers somebody is trying to get on the good side of somebody, perhaps in spite of their actual feelings about that person. The last thing you want to be called in school is a lickars. The implication being you are a person of low integrity. But I don't know, sometimes getting on the right side of somebody is a good idea, so, you might want to take the hit on being called a lickars if it's good for you. The next word that you're going to want to use is the word shitehawk. Well, it's 2 words, isn't it? Or is it a hyphen? I think it's one long run together word. Oh, I googled it. All of the above. Okay, so the best way to explain it is how the dictionary says, it is applied to various birds of prey that exhibit scavenging behaviour, originally and primarily the black kite. The Urban Dictionary says it is a useless going nowhere idiot that talks. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up better than I can. The next devastating put down is the word dose. A dose in other cultures might be the amount prescribed to somebody of something to take. In Ireland, a dose is somebody who you are just sick of. You find a person intensely annoying, they are a right dose. Your man is a right dose. It's almost a warning to others to beware that the person may not be a danger, but they're very, very irksome. Irish people are quite creative with our put downs when you think about it. Ooh, imagination, creativity, it's what we do. It's what we do. Getting closer to number 1, we have the word Egypt. Now, you'll probably have heard Egypt used in colloquial language. Egypt's a classic Irish put down. Your mom can call you an Egypt.
It happens.
You can be a bit of an Egypt, but you don't want to be referred to as Jack the Egypt. You see, Egypt implies you're actually a very stupid person. And when said by somebody who loves you, yes, you'll accept Egypt as just being, you're doing something silly in the moment. But if you're generally referred to as an Egypt outside of somebody who loves you, well, that's not something you want. It does come from the word idiot, not translated into the Irish language, but said by an Irish person. Egypt. I believe Scotland have adopted it too, and rightly so, because it's a great word. It sums up some people very well. Bunch of Egypts. And finally, the number 1 word that you really don't want to be called in Ireland, and you can definitely use it in other countries, but I don't know that it has the same impact as it would have here. It's the word dry shite. Oh god, don't think about that one too much. To be called a dry shite in Ireland is one of the worst put downs you can be called. A dry shite refers to not only a person who doesn't drink, but a person who doesn't drink and is absolutely no crack whatsoever. Crack being fun. It means you're very, very boring to be around. Nobody wants to be a dry shite. And yes, dry works on 2 levels, both the fact that you have not consumed the liquid which might make you fun, as well as the fact that your humour is very dry. Dry shite.
I can't believe you would say that to me.
Shout out today to a couple of patrons. I'm going to let Chewy take this one because he just has fun doing it.
I do have fun. The first shout out goes to Brian Ediger. Brian wants to shout out all the folks who take on children who are not their own. Step parents, adoptive parents, and foster parents. This is a picture of him and his stepdad the day he married his mom. He was Brian's favorite step parent and unfortunately is no longer with us. Thank you, Brian. The next patron shout out goes to Michael Martinez. Michael has finally made it back to Las Vegas from Spain. He is very happy to be home with all his Vegas friends and family. And he really thinks mommy should go on a trip there soon. I'm going to tell her that. Thank you, Michael Martinez. And finally, the random stranger wants to say happy birthday to his mommy. Also this month, it was Elvis Presley's birthday. There is a lot of mystery surrounding Elvis Presley, so this makes it very exciting. Thank you, random stranger.
And that's it for today's list. Why don't you go out and use some of those put downs? But don't blame me if you get in trouble. Bye! We'll all learn. And people misconstrue. And people, you were a bit of an idiot earlier when you tried to run up to the Rottweiler in the park. Yes, and Mommy had to go and run after you. And Mommy doesn't like to run. No, I don't. Did you think you could take him on?